Immense open spaces. Vast mountain terrains. And eerie silence. Any feeling of emptiness, however, is merely an illusion. In this film, we shall be exploring the rich variations of life that have inhabited these environments. From the small to the large. Come on a journey onto the land. "65 million years ago, 4.5 miles beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean, there were titanic stirrings. Molten lava rising from the Earth's core forced upwards a dome of rock 13 miles in length and 7 miles across. The island of Los Santos and Blaine County. Over thousands of years, ice and rain have carved this landscape into a maze of spires and canyons. In the waters that surrounded the island, life was beginning to grab a foothold. As a result, over millions of years, larger and larger animals began to evolve. Those early creatures took bold steps and emerged from the stable environment of the open ocean and ventured into the harsh extremes of the landscape that laid before them. They were the ancestors of today's mammals. And they have flourished. Some species of mammals have become dominant predators. And this is one of them. A cougar. Cougars are solitaries, living and hunting by themselves. They are unrivaled in their abilities to hunt for prey. With keen eyesight and remarkable dexterity, they are able to roam these mountains with relative ease. They are the lords of the land. This is a female, and she's on the hunt. But here, on the steep surface of Mount Gordo, finding food is not easy. Her search for food is bound to be a long one. It can last for hours, and sometimes even days. She keeps a close eye on the landscape for any signs of prey, and she's in luck. A group of deer is grazing nearby. She'll have to be extremely careful to not startle them. Is she close enough? The chase is on. She's begun a sprint. Flat out, she can reach up to 60 kilometers an hour. But the deer are faster, and she knows this. The deer are panic-stricken, and running at such speeds can be fatal. This is the moment that she was waiting for. Now she can conserve her energy and take her time to claim her prize. The carcass of this deer should last her for at least a week. The endless struggle of the hunter and the hunted. On the opposite side of the island, in the Palomino Highlands, smaller mammals are in abundance. And one particular species has thrived. Rabbits. These rabbits belong to a large family group. This family have established their warren at the top of a hill which overlooks the highlands. These rabbits are closely related to that of European species. They are highly social and live together in colonies of up to 12 adults. Each colony is governed by a hierarchy, and at the top of that hierarchy is the dominant male. He stands guard, whilst the rest of the colony grazes in the mid-afternoon sun. Being this high up has an advantage. A rabbit's eyesight is very acute, and at this altitude they are able to spot approaching predators from much greater distances. But there is one predator here whose eyesight is superior. A hawk. Hawks have vision of a different kind. When there's plenty of light, each eye becomes virtually a telescope. And at 300 feet in the air, it can see each individual rabbit very clearly. This hawk has spotted an opportunity. For the rabbits, it would be unwise to venture far from their burrows. No luck for the hawk this time. And the rabbits have survived for another day. For the most part, this island is covered in grasslands. But there is one area that is barren and hostile. The Grand Sonora Desert. But how did this desert come to be? The answer is simple but enormous. Mount Chiliad. Clouds blowing in from the north hit this gigantic barrier and are forced upwards, so they empty their moisture onto the mountain slopes, leaving very little for the land on the other side. Many of the animals that inhabit this harsh environment are locked in a constant struggle to find food. But one species that lives here has learned to adapt, and as a result has become an opportunist. And this is it. A coyote. Coyotes are highly versatile in their choices of food. Here, their main diet consists of small rodents and occasional birds. And during the harshest times, they have even been observed to consume fruit and vegetable matter. However, it has been recently discovered that coyotes have learned to exploit a much more reliable source of food. Domesticated cattle. For centuries, human beings have harnessed the skills and techniques in order to produce mass quantities of beef, pork and mutton. And great areas of the landscape have been set aside in order to do so. The coyotes have taken full advantage. Coyotes will commonly hunt in packs, and sometimes in pairs. But this individual, and rarely seen, is on its own. This is a male, and he spotted a chance. These cows are largely defenseless, and they can weigh in at over a ton. But one kick of those hind legs could be fatal. This male will have to proceed with caution. The fact that this male is by himself is now a liability. Another pack of coyotes could drive him off his kill. So he must eat as much as he can as quickly as possible. The success rate of coyote hunts have enabled them to triumph. But they are dwarfed by the most numerous species on the entire planet. The most intelligent mammal that has ever existed. Ourselves. We are the ultimate example of how successful a mammal can be that is willing to eat almost anything. We have learned to create our own food resources so that our population is no longer limited to the quantity of food that occurs naturally. There are over 7 billion individuals on this planet, and nearly half of them live in gigantic cities. Cities like this can only exist because of our unique capabilities to innovate and to learn. This is what separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom, but our advances in technology is becoming our downfall. Vast areas of the land are being destroyed by our overwhelming demand for production. Life on this planet hangs in a delicate balance. We can annihilate or we can preserve. The choice is ours.